It's Thursday and I'm very excited about the long weekend, excited to sleep in tomorrow, but I'm also excited about Super Rugby Week 6, which is about to hit us with a bang. So I have Garen and Rob joining me in studio. Nice to see you guys again.
Hi, Jen.
Well, it is Week 6 for Super Rugby. What can we expect on Saturday?
Well, Jen, I don't want to be a prophet of doom, but if it wasn't for the South African derby as the fourth and final match of the weekend, I don't see a South African team winning this weekend, unfortunately.
Oh no!
But we'll chat more about each match individually. From a South African point of view, the first match is the Blues at home against the Cheetahs. It's on Saturday morning, 8:35 South African kickoff. You know, the Cheetahs, it's their final match of their 4-match tour. They haven't won a game yet. Last year they won 3 out of 4 games, so things have really turned around the wrong way, if you like, for them. And they're playing against a Blues team who have returned home from South Africa, where they lost both their games. But I think at home, with a couple of All Blacks returning, they're going to be far too strong for a Cheetahs team who I think will be competitive in the first half. But in the second 40 minutes, I see the experience, the home ground playing a factor, and the Blues running away comfortable winners. Rob, 25 points if it really goes badly for the Cheetahs.
Are you also going to be a prophet of doom?
I am, unfortunately, Jen. Yes, I've also got Blues winning by 20 points. Look, there is an outside chance that the Cheetahs might decide that they're going to buck the trend and sort of produce one of those final tour fixtures where they're absolutely determined to get on the plane with a win. But I don't see it happening. I think the Blues have got Man Nonu and Jerome Kano, two very experienced All Blacks on their bench. So they're ready for infusion in the second half, even if some of the Blues players are a little bit travel weary from coming back from South Africa, from their own sort of winless trip. And I think the Blues being under pressure to get a victory, Garen, it's very hard to see them being stopped. I'm a little bit concerned about the makeup of the Cheetahs backline. Looks a little bit makeshift. Reino Benjamin at inside centre, Henny Danilo on the wing, not the quickest guy in the world. So I don't think we should expect miracles from this one.
No.
All right, well, that's the first game. There's actually 4 games on Saturday. So what are your predictions for game number 2?
Well, the second game is the Brumbies at home against the Stormers. The Stormers on their 3rd overseas tour match. Again, they haven't won one yet. But they've been a lot better in the last couple of weeks, perhaps a little bit unlucky at times. But they're playing against a Brumbies team that is flying high. They're top of the Australian Conference. Last year, they actually lost in the final of the tournament. They had Jake White as a coach then. He's obviously left, but it seems to show, Rob, that it's not all about the coach. It's a lot about the players. And they've continued in the vein that they finished last season off. They've been very impressive. They had a good win against the Waratahs, who I think a lot of people were predicting to win the Australian Conference. That was last weekend. I think they're going to be a little bit too good for the Stormers. The Stormers have made an interesting change at Flyth. They brought Peter Grant back to start. He came on in the last couple of minutes last weekend. They've dropped Dimitri Katrakilis to the bench. Will Peter Grant make a difference? I'm not 100% sure. He hasn't played much Super Rugby at all. Last season he was ruled out with injuries. He's in Japan. He arrives late. He hasn't really familiarized himself with the team. So I'm not sold that he's going to be the solution to all the Stormers' problems. I see the Brumbies winning. I don't think it'll be by that much more than maybe 5 to 6 points, maybe a converted try at most.
Yes, Jen, I've gone very similar on that one. I've got the Brumbies winning by 6 points. In other words, some consolation for Stormers fans is they will pick up a losing bonus point, hopefully, which then will give them a little bit of hope for the possibility of knocking over the Reds in their last tour match. But this one is, I mean, as with all of their tour fixtures, Garen, there is no easy one on this particular Stormers tour. So you've got to think Brumbies. Having said that, considering all the injuries, the starting 15 that the Stormers are putting out still doesn't look too bad. They've managed to cobble together a reasonably strong outfit. The trouble is that, you know, combinations have been lacking in some instances. And I also feel a little bit sorry for a couple of guys who actually played well last week and are now, well, Nizam Kar is still on the bench. I thought he made an impact last week, and they'll be looking for more from him in the second half. Brock Harris perhaps was a little bit unlucky to get the chop after doing really well on the tight head last week. Frans Malherbe's back, so a bit of onus on him to play well. And the Stormers do have a puncher's chance, but again, I think Brumbies.
All right, and going into game 3, I think we're going to continue with the bad news. Garen, why don't you start
I think
us off?
so. You know, Jen, okay, well, at least we're back in South Africa now. So it's the Lions at home against the Reds. That match kicks off at 5:05 on Saturday. The Reds, they're a good travelling side. They always seem to do well in South Africa. Last weekend, they weren't fantastic against the Sharks. They went through a patch that actually outplayed the Sharks in the second half, but they were just too far behind after the first 40 minutes. I see them being too smart for the Lions. I think the Lions will still be competitive at home. You know, their forwards might even be more impressive or boss the Reds forwards, but I think when it comes down to the back line and some tactical decision making, Will Genia, Quade Cooper at halfback, I think the Reds will sneak home. I think they need to pick up a win on their tour to have any chance in the Australian Conference. The Lions were fairly fortunate last week to win. They won by 3 points in the end, but Sanzar then ruled midweek that the one try that they were awarded was actually illegal and shouldn't have been a try, meaning that they probably should have lost. So don't read too much into last weekend's result. I have the Reds winning again. I wouldn't be surprised if it's fairly close. Again, that 5 to 7 sort of point range. Rob, I don't know if you agree with that. Are we 3 for 3?
Yes, we are so far singing from the same songbook. That might change. But I also have perhaps the Lions losing with a bonus point, which will be something. But the consolation for Lions fans is that I keep on backing the opposition against them, and the Lions keep winning. So maybe it's not all bad. They should see that as a good omen, perhaps. Again, I'm going with the opposition. I do think the Reds have got too much class on paper, Garen, to be knocked over by the Lions, with due respect. But the Lions will be competitive, and a couple of good individual matchups. I'm quite looking forward to, say, Will Genia against Faf de Klerk, the emerging young Lions scrum half. So some nice individual battles, and I don't think it'll be a low-scoring game. I've got a feeling that if the pitch is hard and fast as it should be at Ellis Park, if the weather holds, then we could be in for quite a nice festival of Super Rugby.
Okay, cool. And now on to game 4, Garrett.
Well, the good news is there has to be a South African winner, and this, barring the draw, of course. You've got the Bulls at home against the Sharks. The Sharks flying high at the top of the South African Conference. They've actually played each other already this term, bizarrely, in week 1 down in Durban, and the Sharks, I think, won 31-16 if memory serves. The Bulls coming off a bye, you know, historically that's proven not to be the best thing to do. You know, you want to just keep playing. It seems that, like, if you haven't played the week before, it takes a good 20 to 30 minutes to get back into the swing of things. And if they're not careful, the Sharks might have a good 10, 15 point lead by that time. But Jake White's very shrewd. I think we're going to disagree perhaps on this result. I think the Sharks are going to have just too much. In their previous matches, pretty much all their previous matches, they haven't put in an 80-minute performance. I think this is going to be the first week that they do, away from the comforts of Kings Park. I think Jake will have the team up for the match. They've picked an unchanged team, so continuity is key there. I think they'll be too smart for the Bulls at Loftus. But again, with not a hell of a lot of certainty, I think Sharks by about 3 points.
I love it when you guys disagree. Rob?
Yeah, we have reached that point of dissent. I'm going the other way. Some would say it's a little bit foolhardy. I mean, the Sharks have been going really well. I'm still hyping them up as real title contenders. But that said, you don't win every game in Super Rugby. You know, you hit these speed bumps every now and then. And I've just got a little bit of a gut feel that the Bulls are going to win this one. I think they'll be really up for it after the slight humbling that they got in the first round match. You know, they lost by 15 points at Kings Park. I think would have digested a few lessons. I think their team is also stronger on paper now. Dieval Potgieter back to give their loose trio a little bit more experience and balance, I think. Victor Matfield back in the starting team for the Bulls. He was only a substitute, remember, just sort of feeling his way back into Super Rugby for the first round meeting. So he's back in. And so a few good signs. The Bulls scrum is also a lot more solid than it looked last season. So I think that they'll front up to the Sharks up front. And just possibly with the home crowd, the Loftus vibe, getting behind the Bulls, I've got them nicking this one by 2 points.
Okay, well, this is my favorite part because I always like a little bit of conflict. How can people challenge these predictions?
Well, the best would be to visit sport24.co.za, sign up for our Super Brew competition, challenge the experts, see if you agree with Rob or myself. And if you're going to any of the games, please send through your pictures dressed up in your home team kit, and we'll put them into a gallery, publish them. That's definitely the way to go.
Great. Well, I hope you guys both have a great long weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.
Thank you.
You too, Shen.